Okay, I am back. Let's talk about Aileen Wuornos. They recently did a documentary on Netflix. It's called Aileen, Queen of the Serial Killer. And if I was going to suggest learning more about her to someone who's never heard of her, I would say to watch a different documentary because there's so many good ones. But also watch the movie Monster with Charlize Theron. Yes, some of it is fictionalized, but on the most part, it's a really, really good movie, and a lot of it's true. So, she is a serial killer. She was a serial killer, killed 7 men, and she was put to death for her crimes. But there's so much to it. There's so much to this story. Okay, so let's see what they say about it. Okay, so they did this little documentary, and they have some of the same people that were in the original documentary back in the day. She was put to death in October 2020. 2002, sorry. 2002. And there was a time, it was like 1989 to 1990, where she was actively killing men. She was a prostitute, and she was dating this woman named Ty. And witnesses say that they kept seeing them, 2 women together. But Tyler never was held accountable for her part in this at all. She claims that she didn't know, that she had no part in it, all of that, but I don't believe it. I don't believe it. I think that she should have been arrested as well. But Aileen really, really loved her. Like, she was so in love with her, and that she turned herself in and admitted to everything just to make sure that Ty was not in any trouble. She wanted to protect her. So, if she was so soulless, like people say she was, why would she care about Tyler? Why would she care? Why wouldn't she just throw her under the bus as well? She wasn't a monster, I don't think. I mean, I've seen her in interviews and I know her story. Oh, her story is so sad because her mother left when she was young. Her father died. She was raised by her grandmother. And she was kind of, a wild child. And so they let her sleep outside, pretty much. She ran away and she was living in the woods, and to get by, she would sleep with neighborhood kids and men and whoever would give her something to eat or cigarettes. She started prostituting at a very young age. And then she hit the road. She just said, all right, I'm going to go get the hell up out of here. No one loves me. No one cares about me. Her brothers didn't even care. Her mother didn't care about her. She didn't really have anyone in the whole world that she felt cared about her. And so when this woman, Ty, came along and showed her love and care, that's all she wanted in life. She was hooked. She just wanted to be loved. And she was always kind of bisexual, I think. She never knew she was like full-blown into women only. But I think she had been hurt a lot by men. Obviously. She had been used and abused by men her entire life. I don't think there was any time period where she wasn't. And because of her upbringing and because she didn't have the resources or people around her that were a good influence, she never really did anything but this. She drank a lot, she partied, she prostituted. It was like she didn't really know that there was more to life until she met Ty. And then she thought, you know what, this woman loves me. and gives me a reason to live. But they were struggling financially. And so she started prostituting quite a bit. And in one instance, I think it was the first guy that was killed. Let me look at my, I took some notes because I just wanted to get some, you wanted to get it right. I feel like the story deserves that, to have, so they found in 1989, they found Richard Mallory's car, but it was parked somewhere else. And then she just left the body in a different location. He was a white middle-aged man, and he didn't show up for work that day. And then she killed this other guy named Charlie. That she left them in the woods, and she would take their car. And then she would rob them, and she would kill them, rob them, and then leave their car somewhere else in a different location, so they would look like they just came up missing. But obviously people found the bodies. Okay, so it came out to be like 7 men. She said that this guy raped her and was abusive towards her. I guess he put rubbing alcohol all over her and in her, private area, in her mouth, everything. I'm sad for the people that, obviously the families of the people that she hurt, but I feel like the Johns are never held accountable or responsible for hiring prostitutes. It's always the woman. It's always the woman. They're the ones that go to prison. They're the ones that have the bad reputation. And they do get abused quite a bit. I believe that she was abused. I think that when you've been abused enough, as she has, I think she got to the point after this happened. In this documentary, she tells the story of what happened and how he abused her and how it turns out that this guy had a history of this, of physically assaulting women. So it wasn't like her claims were unfounded. Like she was just it wasn't like he was just the greatest guy ever, the best person, the most lovely man, and she just totally destroyed him, murdered him, and yeah, I think that after she did it the first time, I think that anything that a man would do to her, even if it was just like bend over, bitch, or whatever, I think she was gonna snap. She had it. So I don't believe that all of these men did something to deserve to be murdered. I don't think the first one did either. Yeah, he was abusive. He violated her. He sodomized her. He was a fucking prick, just the way he treated her. And I think a lot of men feel like it's okay to treat women like that, especially if they're prostitutes, because it's almost like they hate themselves for paying for it. They hate themselves for needing it, for wanting it. And so they treat the woman like total shit. I mean, just to me, just as a woman in this world, men have mistreated me too. I think all women at some point or another have been mistreated by a man. Whether it's one man, two men, whoever, whatever. I have been put down and belittled and berated and sexually assaulted. I've been raped. I've been grabbed. I've been groped. I've been through a lot too. I think there's a lot of women that have. I don't hate men. I'm not going to go on a killing spree. But because of who she is and what she had been through for so long, I could see how it happened. I don't agree with it. I don't think she should have killed them. Obviously, I think she should have, worst case, maybe robbed them because she was desperate for money to take care of her and Ty. So she was 34 when she got caught, and a movie producer had wanted to talk to her. So she put like a little notice up at the bar that she knew she went to. And so she got a hold of her. She claimed that she had been raped by Avery. Yeah. So she was very emotional when she was telling the story. And I don't think she's that great of an actress. I don't think that she just played it up. She was very consistent with that story. She had told it quite a few times to different people. I do believe that man who had a history of sexual assault towards women did something to her. I don't think she should have killed him. I think she should have beat the fuck out of him, robbed him, and got the fuck out of there. But, you know, she was a vulnerable woman. Excuse me. Women that are just walking the highways and, you know, in Florida, looking for a few dollars, $20, $30, all of that. They're in a very weakened position to be preyed upon. You know, they're such easy targets. And so men feel like they could pick them up and do whatever the fuck they want with them. And she said, fuck you all, fuck you. And so she took her power back the way she felt she needed to do that. So she got the death penalty, obviously. And she was adopted by, I like the story, the part that there's a couple, there was a woman who became very fond of her and felt sorry for her, a Christian, hardcore Christian. And she introduced the Lord to her and decided to adopt her as a grown woman because she felt like she never had a family, which was true. And they wanted to see her get into heaven. So they said, okay, well, we're going to adopt you and we're going to teach you about, okay, this part really fucks me up. I think there was a chance that she could have just gotten life in prison, but she wanted to be put down like a wounded dog. She was just like, put me down. I don't care. I want to meet Jesus. This couple had talked her into believing that she should want to meet him as soon as possible. Seriously, that's kind of how it went down. They were happy for her that she was getting put down, that, you know, that she got the death penalty, and she was begging for it. And because of all the pain that she had suffered by her neighbors and, you know, her family, and then the neglectful behavior from her family, she just snapped and she didn't care anymore who she hurt. So it just makes me wonder not only about Ty, the so-called love of her life, who didn't seem to give a shit at all about her. All she was thinking about was herself. But the woman that adopted her, I mean, the fact that she was kind of being so encouraging, like, oh yeah, you know what? You should definitely ask for the death penalty. Have them do it as soon as possible. You know, you're going to meet Jesus. I just think that's kind of wrong. I don't know. That's just me. I mean, for her, it was out of love, supposedly. Yeah. I don't know about that. So, yeah, if you want to watch a good documentary, there's so many others. This one doesn't really get into all the good stuff, which is the facts of what really happened, who she really was, where she really came from. They left a lot out. I think there was a 20 or a 48 hours that did a really good job, thorough job, a few hours long. There's other documentaries, that's all I'm saying, that might be better. But yeah, absolutely, if you haven't seen the movie Monster, you should see that. It's really good, and it shows the human side of her. I think a lot of people have seen her as a monster, but they didn't see like the wounded animal, the woman that had been just let down over and over again her whole entire life, and really had nothing except this woman named Ty. That's what she lived for. That's who she lived for. And so I also believe that she was definitely suffering with PTSD, mental, bipolar, depression, anxiety, all of that. I don't think you should put down a mentally ill person on that level. I think Florida fucked up as far as that goes. And if somebody asked you, yeah, just kill me, just execute me now, you don't do it. You go through the process, and you get doctors to determine whether this person is of sound mind. I don't know. I mean, yes, she definitely deserved to spend the rest of her life in prison, but the death penalty, I don't know. I don't know if I agree with that. All right, I am going to go, but Aileen, I feel bad. Like I said, I feel badly for all involved, but I feel really badly for her. She seemed like she really wanted to be a good person. She really wanted a better life. She really wanted to do good. It just turned out so terribly wrong. I wonder where Tyler is now.